Hello, this is John, Vintage Fisherman. I got an interesting one here. This is one of the anti-backlash model Ambassadors, a 5500 size, 5600. It's so worn off, I can't really tell. But, well, it's got a couple issues right off the bat. At least, unlike the last Ambassador I did, this shaft is tight. This is instant anti-backlash, instant anti-reverse reel, and it had the backlash feature, which has been removed by the previous owner. Why, I don't know. I've got a new cover for it, I'm sure. Oh me. Well, let's take it apart. See what I can do with it. I may not be able to fix this. I'm just not gonna lie. Yeah, it turns and everything, but can I make it where it's it's got this plug on it. I don't understand any of that. Apparently that had something to do with that anti-backlash feature that the reel had. But for some reason, I got two of these reels from a tackle shop, local tackle shop. Somebody traded them in, and they were both, the handles were loose on both of them. I don't know what happened. This one feels cross-threaded. So I may have to replace that nut. And I might have to clean the shaft, or clean the threads on the shaft. This handle's pretty much toast. It's got holes in it. I've never seen one do that before. This reel's been well used. Nothing wrong with that. The threads look okay on the handle shaft, so we might get lucky on it. Let's give that some help. Yeah, the threads are good. No problems there. Everything's there. Interesting, it doesn't have the thumb screws on it. It's different. Never been into one of these anti-backlash reels. I heard it was a big flop for Ambassador. They didn't sell many of them, and the ones they did sell were did not operate properly. So, it's got all kinds of stuff on this other side. What in the devil? What is this thing? Some kind of that's a feature I've never seen on a reel before. Might have to do a whole nother spool on this reel. Yeah, sometimes you wonder, these manufacturers come up with some crazy things and they just don't work. There's a bearing. It's probably fine. This reel doesn't look like it's been cast a whole hell of a lot. Although it does look pretty well used. Let's go into, wow, what in the devil? Let's go into this over here. Learning something new. I've never dealt with one of these reels before. I've been told you can take all this stuff out. I probably even have another side cover I could put on this reel and turn into just a regular old reel. I know a lot of the newer BFS reels have anti-backlash features to them. They seem to work pretty good. I haven't heard anybody complain about them. I don't fish BFS. If I'm going that light, I just go with the spinning setup. All right, let's see what's under door number 1. Oh, well, that's where you adjust it. I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to get another cover for it too. We'll turn it into a regular fishing reel. The frame's good. No issues there. Look at the dirt on that. Okay, that should clean up fine. Okay, well, there's the frame. We'll clean that up. I don't know if that's a bearing down in there or just a bushing. Appears to just be a bushing. Oh, I may not worry about it because I'm going to get rid of that whole mess anyway. Okay, you slip this to the side and pull this off, and your shaft can come out. I believe everything on this side is just a standard reel. It's a right-hand reel, it's not left. I don't even know if they made the anti-backlash reels in left. Us lefties, and I'm not a left-handed person, but I fish with left-handed reels. Us left-hand reel fishermen get left out in a lot of things, and I think it's wrong. I think the industry's really missing out there. Yeah, nothing looks different over here. This all pulled off together. Let's look at this. Yeah, it's just your standard setup. Had water in it. We'll clean that up. Gotta be careful. These yokes will break sometimes when you try to pop that gear out. I've broke a couple of them over the years. And then all this comes out. And shaft's tight. This is where I've been having problems on these ambassadors here lately. This piece here is loose in the housing. And even with the equipment I have, I cannot fix it. It's, if I made a fixture that would sit right on that edge right there, and I had something on this side I could attach in my arbor press and crimp it right there, I could probably fix them, but I have not come up with anything yet. So I'll take the sleeve off of it. All this kind of just pushes apart. It does need an upgraded drag. I don't know if I've got any more or not. I'll have to look and see. That was in there. But it's just your standard drag, just like any other ambassador. Like that. Okay, so there's the whole reel. I'll clean it up, and golly, that spool is I could probably get that off of there. It may not matter. May not matter. This was some kind of a braking system. From what I've been told, they didn't cast very far, and so people would take this out. Oh, that goes down against that rubber O-ring that was on there. Yeah. I don't know. I'll look and see what parts I've got I can replace on this, and we'll put it back together. I'm back. I got this 5500 anti-backlash reel cleaned up. Gosh, it was a mess. So here's all the parts of the anti-backlash that won't be going back on this reel. There's your spool with the brake on it, or the brake drum. Here is your cover with the hole, the plug in it where you adjust this. This is pretty chewed up. See if I can trim that up a little bit. Get rid of some of that extra plastic because somebody used the wrong size screwdriver on it or something. But these parts will probably get sold. I'm sure there's supposed to be a spring in here. Somebody took it all apart. I'll probably put that on my eBay store. And, somebody needs those parts, maybe $5 for everything. So I had to come up with another cover. I found this really nice cover for 5500 CL3. The gear side cover was fine. I believe everything else, the drag, I'm going to replace the drag. It was pretty well smoked. Throw that away. Whoops. Oh, the handle nut and lock, they are wore out. We'll throw those away. So we're going to try, this is a pretty thick plate. We're going to try it and see if it'll work. And then I've got a nut here that should be right. Let's see if it's the right thread. Whoops. Some of these nuts are left hand, some of them are right hand, of course. I have a feeling this is a left hand. Huh. Yeah, I may have to go into my... No, well... Yeah, it's a left hand nut. So we're going to go into my box of tricks. And see what we can find here. Bear with me as I try to piece the puzzle back together. Well, there's a more correct handle nut anyway. The handle's pretty ugly on this reel, and I have no idea what's on it. It's got, it almost looks like mold or something. I don't have another one of those style handles, I don't think. I got a lot of handles. Well, I got a blue one, but that goes on another reel. I got dozens of the little round paddle type handles, like these. I guess I could put one of those on. It's nothing about this reel is correct anymore anyway, so we'll just do that. What are my plans with this reel? I'm probably gonna take it right back to the tackle shop I bought it from and trade it back for some tackle or maybe a reel or something. Who knows? He'll have more used reels. We'll make a trade. People around here like this size reel for catfish, but it doesn't have a clicker, and that's not good. If you're bank fishing with one reel, you don't really need a clicker. But if you got several reels, or if you're on a boat, you really do need a clicker. So really for catfishing, a clicker is a good idea no matter what. But I couldn't find a 6500 end plate that has a clicker in it. So it is what it is. I could probably find one on eBay and purchase it, but I'm not going to go that far today. Nothing about this reel is original, so it is what it is. Did I screw this reel up? I'm not the one that did it. It was, well, I found this also, this hood. It was missing the anti-backlash piece up here. That's gone. I don't know where I'd ever find one. Probably could if I looked far and wide enough. Somebody else determined that that's probably a left-hand nut too. What is it about these left-hand? I guess because mostly what I do is left-hand. Everything's going to be left-hand. Hang on a minute. Golly, John. Check this time before I get one out. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. I don't think I could ruin this reel any further than it was already ruined. So if the reel is ruined, let's make it where we can fish with it. There. We'll just get a black cat. I don't care. It'll match the handle. So I'm getting low on parts. I'm going to start buying some more parts reels and just throwing stuff in there. Okay. So let's build it. Let's build this bastard of a reel here, basically. First thing we'll do is ballast all. Spray the brake plate down. It gets this, comes in from this side. And then this piece here comes in from over there. And we'll let that dry for a few minutes while we move on to other things, like the level line. This was really nasty. I don't know, somebody shot grease up into this crazy thing. And that's not good for level line. Do not put grease in these things. And we're going to snap that hood down. All these hoods are, for 5500 size are the same. It is specific to a left or right hand though. It'll be cut out over here for the left hand and over here for the right hand. It's for your thumb relief. Does that make sense? So we'll put that in there. keeper on. Whoops, missed something there. Let's take it back off. That little tab's got to sit up into that groove. This is a newer style level line guide. Maybe the first reel I've ever had that style on it, but okay, let's pull this off to one side and put your line or your pawl in there where it engages the worm gear, and make sure it seats all the way down, and then put your cap on. There's no shim in these Ambassadors. A lot of the newer Garcia Ambassadors, the Revos, stuff like that, have a little shim in there. There's nothing like that in this one. Just make sure it works. It gets a little tight right there. This is interesting. Right where it meets that hood gets tight. So what are we going to do? I'm going to shave that down just a little bit. I've had to do this on other brand reels. You just take your knife and just shave a little bit of that plastic guide off. It'll take me a few minutes to... I don't like re-engineering things, but this reel is not as it came from the factory, so there you go. It's going to have a little bit of help to make it work. See if that was enough. Now it's doing it over here. Yep. So we will shave a little bit off over here. Now it's okay. We're just going to chase our tails here. Okay, we got it now. Okay, so I got that working. All right. Nothing really to do here. Just put a little bit of oil on the gear. I do not use grease on this gear. It slows the reel down. And then go in right here. Almost put it on the wrong side. Then I'm just so used to left-handed reels. It's a really nice cover for this reel. It's got the gold shield on it there and all that cool stuff. But this would have been a really good reel to convert to a CT for surf fishing, but I've already got enough of them, and I'll just... Plus, it doesn't have a bait clipper, so that does it for me. But you can take one of these reels with a CT conversion and cast them a long, long way. Okay, looking pretty so far, right? I got these parts here that go in the spool that will get, they'll go with the kit because it's got the brake drum on it. I'm going to put the original bearings back in it. There's a shim bearing, and then the keeper, which is also the weight cage, and then the keeper ring, and then over here it's just a bearing, and then the drive. And this will go with this package. I've got a set of Boca bearings in this, so somebody's gonna get a nice. I just happen to have that spool already assembled, so somebody's gonna get a nice one. All right, let's do this thing. We need a shim, and then the handle stem. We're going to do just a dab of grease right here, right here. And we're going to put the pinion, snap it back into the yoke. Be careful not to break the yoke. That thing's still dirty. I missed a little bit. We'll snap that back into the yoke carefully. Don't break anything. And we'll give that some grease. This slides down on there, just like that. Now over here, you've got 3 big washers and 1 smaller washer. Smaller washer goes on first. This is your Carbon Tex drag. From I bought these from Dad's Old Tackle. I don't buy much from them anymore. I had a little bit of issue with some bearings I purchased from them, and they were wrong, and they didn't want to make good on it. So I haven't bought anything from them in probably 6 months or so. I sent them pictures and everything, and they said I was wrong. So I said, okay, well, you don't want my business anymore. All right, so we're gonna put some cowls on there. Just see if you can see your thumbprint. If you can, it's thick enough. You get keyed washer, so it's felt Carbon Tex washer, keyed washer. Okay, Carbon Tex washer. Put it on there pretty thick. Really, it's not going to hurt. It's going to, what doesn't get used will get squeezed out. We'll put one of those on. Then your eared washer. And then your last Carbon Tex. And then your press plate. I call it a press plate. I don't know what the technical term is for it. And then you've got your sleeve. It goes on there. You've got your spring plate. We'll put a little bit of grease on that. What did I do with my grease? There it is. A little bit of grease on the spring plate. It goes in like this. Okay. And that is about all I can do with that. So let's put some oil on those anti-backlash bearing needles in there. I don't use grease on that because it will get hard and not work. Make sure I got everything in it here. Yeah, I do. Put that on there, and then put your 2 cover screws on. Went fishing yesterday, didn't catch a dang thing. I don't know what's going on. It's late August and the fish are it's beautiful weather, and you'd think this cool weather would just turn the fish on. It's turned them off. It's not a cold front. It's just cool weather. And hell, I don't know. It's just really weird. August has always been a tough month for me fishing. Don't know why. Put a little bit of oil on this shaft. This is your spool shaft. And you got the black retention clip, and it always goes the flat side up towards the towards this tension knob. So it goes in there like that. Okay. And then your little shim goes down in there. And then your cap. And we've got the concave convex spring washers. They go in. And a little bit of grease. Put your star on. Sometimes you have to hold it, and here's how I do it. Just take a pair of needle nose pliers and hold both sides of that shaft. You don't have to hold it with a lot. And if you have to hold it with a lot, then you got the threads crossed on it. Just a little bit of tension. Once it gets down to a certain point, it just goes on there by itself without having to hold it. This reel has been pretty well abused, I can tell you that. You can do this too. Once you get down to a certain point, just put the handle on it. There it goes. See how loose it got? We'll tighten the drag down just a little bit. What it is right there on those edges where that handle wallers against it, it mushrooms it out and makes it not want to thread past that part. Put your handle washer on. It should bend down towards the star handle. We'll go ahead and put E-clip on. Keep your thumb over it. Take your pliers, just lightly squeeze it. What pops on there. And then we'll take our handle nut, which I'm already going on crooked with. I got to fix that. There we go. Nope. Oh, everything wants to be aggravating. I just threaded this thing on there a minute ago. Is that right? Yeah, I think I got it. Okay, now either put a flat or a point towards that hole. And you can take this and put on there, and it should line up, and that's the right one. They make different sizes of these. So then that screw's too short, I believe. Let's see. No, it worked. Okay, you'll put your spool on. It's got the Boca bearings in it. Those are ABEC 7s, maybe. Make sure your weights are compressed in. I got this tension knob too tight. Okay. You'll put a little bit of oil on that drive, on the end of that shaft, and then we'll put it home here. Like this. Sometimes it takes me a minute. On these ultra cast, you got to hold the knob or the thumb up in the up position and line it up, and then it will go home. And this one doesn't have the thumb screws, which is another odd thing about this reel. It's just got these little button screws. I don't guess there's anything really wrong with that. Be hard to take down in the field without a screwdriver. Now let's check the function on it. Spool's too tight. Well, there's a real Frankenreel. Mixture of everything. It's not correct. But it's working. Let's see how it free spools. Let's see if I can get a hold of it. Oh, it free spools good. I mean, you could do more work with it, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's a Frankenreel. It's for fishing. It's not a shelf piece. But there it is. I've been looking at this thing for a couple of weeks thinking, how am I going to fix all the problems with this reel? They were compounding. I thought, well, I'll just turn it into a regular old fishing reel. I mean, it doesn't have to be a anti-backlash reel. I can't get the parts for it. It didn't work right to begin with. It was the biggest flop that Ambassador ever did, or Abu Garcia. And I thought, well, I've probably got parts. Let's just turn it into a regular old reel. So there it is. I added the hood. It didn't have a hood before because that was where the anti-backlash adjustment is. Changed the end cap. Spool. Took the other piece out of the inside. Here's everything I took off of it. That's everything I had that was part of the anti-backlash. See, the spool's got this big thing. And I probably could have reused the spool, but I figured I would sell these parts as a set to somebody. I changed the handle. It's got new drag, new bearings, good bearings. New handle handle nut, nut lockdown. That's all new. That was all stripped out on the other handle. The other handle was nasty. It's got some kind of mold or something on it. I couldn't get off of it. There it is. This video will come out probably in the winter time, but this reel will probably be long gone by then. I'll probably take it and trade it. I've got this reel. I didn't do a video on it. I did a video, but I erased it on this reel because I got both these at the tackle shop. And I will make this very clear to him if I trade it back to him. This boss in here that the anti-reverse bearing is just slightly loose. I tried to tighten it down by peening it around it on the inside, and it just wouldn't get all the way tight. So that handle has a little bit of slop in it. I'll make that clear to him. I don't want to sell it on my eBay store because of that. I try to sell reels that are perfect. But this reel, the only thing really wrong with it when I got it was besides that, which the handle was flopping. I actually tightened it way down. But the level line, the worm gear was stripped. As you can see, I fixed that. This is a really nice reel. This is a high-speed 4600 C4. These were really popular with the bass fishermen back in the day. These are some of the first high-speed bait casters. It's a 6.2 to 1. And the capacity on this is real narrow spool reel is 170 of 10, 140 of 12, 115 of 14. You know, you don't need a lot of line to catch bass. I mean, good Lord, if you hook into a bass, you need, how much was that? Let's just say if you're going a 12-pound test, which is what I usually run on a bait caster. If you need 170 yards for a largemouth bass, buddy, get ready. You're going to be a rich man if you get it in. That's a world record. I'm just saying. Wasn't the world record largemouth caught on it was a push button reel. I don't know if it was a Zebco or who it was, but it was very low capacity, reel. you don't have to have a lot of line for bass. If you're fishing stripers, that's a whole nother story. But this reel will probably be traded back to him, and I'll make it clear to him about the issue there. Let me seat the drag in on this reel. I didn't seat it in. Here's how you seat the drag in on these reels. When you put a brand new drag in, you want to smoke it just a little bit. Put your thumb on the spool and hold it, and slip that drag. And it really, really frees the reel up too. It's crazy how much it frees the reel up after you do that. Okay, there it is. 2 reels ready to be traded for hopefully one nice reel for me, or something I can fix up and sell in my store like I was originally intending to do with these. Some spare parts for somebody. There it is, folks. 2 Ambassadors, right-handers. I don't use right-handers. Ready to be fished with. This is John, Bench Fisherman. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I ask you that all the time. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. And I'm like this close to being monetized, which means I'll make $3 a month. Thank you, YouTube. But I don't do this for the money. I started out this to help those out there that are taking a reel apart at home, and they get it apart and can't get it back together, or they want to take it apart, but they're anxious about that and want to know what they're getting into before they do it. That's what this channel's about. This is boring stuff to most people. People log on, friends, and they'll say, "What, you got a YouTube channel?" "Yeah, go check it out." And they look at it like, that's pretty boring. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's not what this channel is. This channel is not about excitement. Every once in a while I go fishing, catch a fish. It's kind of exciting, but this channel is about education. And I appreciate those who subscribe and watch my videos on a regular basis. You guys you're freaking awesome, man. And I really appreciate every one of the comments are awesome, and the support's awesome. I don't care whether I ever get monetized or not. This is about education, and that's what I'm gonna keep it about. So it's about fixing up old reels, sometimes new reels, sometimes usually fishing with old reels, sometimes fishing with new reels. And my key thing I always say to you guys is what? Take a kid fishing. Get a kid. I got a story to tell. I was at the local pond yesterday, and I appreciate y'all still watching to this point. I was at the pond yesterday that I'm a member of. It's a shooting range, pond, hunt club. And it was a family there fishing. And there was a little guy there who's 8 years old. And he was casting with his dad's bait caster. And he wants a bait caster himself so bad, it was driving him crazy. And I had that Revo 3 with me that I just refinished like two days ago. The video will be coming up probably in February or something, but it's a lefty, and his dad's reel was a righty. And his dad fished some tournaments at one time in his life, had some nice gear. He had a Shimano Corrado, I believe it was. And I asked he said, "Man, he loves your reel," the dad did. I said, "Well, little fella, he can cast with me." He said, "You sure?" I've been watching casts. He knows what he's doing. And I handed him that. It was a Revo 3 on a 6'6" Fenwick. I can't remember the model. It's a really nice Fenwick bait casting, one-piece bait casting rod. And I had 12-pound tests on there, and I was fishing with a 1/4-ounce spinnerbait, which is really too light for that rod. But I handed it to him, and his first cast went a little left. That's what happens when you cast with your right arm and your lure is too light for the rod. The rod doesn't have any whip, so it just kind of spits it to the left. He corrected for that on the set. I watched him. His second cast was straight out. He knew exactly what he was doing. And he just has a feel for it. You either got it, you don't. And he cast that thing about 10 times. He fell in love with it. I would have gave him that reel had I not just got it myself and interested in fishing with it some. But if I could figure out who they are, I may give him one of my bait casters. that I don't use anymore if I can find them again. But he's got a birthday coming up. I don't want to mess that up for the parents. I'll let them have that joy. But here, my point is, that kid has a passion for fishing, the passion that I had for fishing when I was young. And that's something we'll carry with him the rest of his life. Some of his last stories he tells in his life will be about fishing with his dad and his family out there. The whole family was out there. The mom was rowing him around in the John boat so he could fish one of the points out there in the pond. Is that not dedication? I love that stuff. That's what this channel's about. Take a kid fishing. This is John Vintage Fisherman. I'll talk to you later.